Pompeii's treasures are Greek stories. Once upon a time, in the time of ancient Rome, a boy named Alexandro lived in the city of Pompeii, Italy. Alexandro was a cheerful and kind-hearted boy who worked in the house of a merchant in the city. He always liked to admire the beautiful scenery of Pompeii after finishing work. Pompeii was a wonderful city with vast squares, fine buildings, and beautiful gardens. However, I felt that there was something mysterious behind it. One day, while Alexandro was working in a merchant's house, a strange old man came to the store. The old man had a long beard and wore an old robe. The old man stared at Alexandro and said, "You have a great fate ahead of you. In the basement of Pompeii, an ancient treasure rests. Do you know the place?" Alexandro was surprised. I knew that Pompeii had many old ruins, but I had never heard of a place where treasures lay around. However, the old man's eyes were serious, and he seemed eager to convey something. "I am an adventurer in this city in the past, and I know where the treasure is hidden, but it takes courage and wisdom to find it," the old man said and handed Alexandro a map. The map showed places in the city of Pompeii that were particularly inaccessible to people. Alexandro hesitated, but looked at the map and made up his mind. He thought that the city of Pompeii might contain ancient secrets, and if he could find them, he could help the villagers. That night, Alexandro took a map and headed alone to an ancient ruin on the outskirts of the city. Along the way, as he walked through the city shrouded in tranquility in the darkness of the night, he felt a mixture of anxiety and excitement. When we arrived at the ruins, we found them lined with crumbling stone walls and ancient columns. Alexandro followed the map and began to look for a secret room in the basement. On the way, he found a small hidden door, and from there he went to the underground path. Fearlessly, he continued walking through the darkness, relying only on the light of his flashlight. Eventually, he reached deep underground, where he found ancient treasures. There were gold vessels, ornaments, and large boxes studded with jewels. Alexandro gasped, surprised by the sight that unfolded before him. He realized that this was Pompeii's lost treasure, but at that moment, a cold wind blew into the room. Alexandro turned around and saw the figure of an old man there. The old man spoke quietly. "What are you going to do with this treasure? You can take it back and get rich, but the real value lies in not getting caught up in it." Alexandro thought for a moment. He could get rich, but he felt that this treasure was part of Pompeii's history and should not fall into anyone's hands. "I think it's important to leave this treasure here as it is and pass on the history of Pompeii to the future," he replied. The old man smiled and nodded. "Your choice is right. The true value of treasures is not material, but to protect history and culture." With that, the old man disappeared, and the silence returned. Alexandro quietly prayed in front of the treasure and left Pompeii. He never took the treasure back, but his heart was determined to protect what was precious to him. Upon returning to the village, he never spoke of the treasure and continued to help the villagers after that to preserve the history of Pompeii. A few years later, the ruins of Pompeii were excavated, and Alexandro's actions became widely known. His choice left a valuable lesson for future generations. That's it.